Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more Star Wars Battlefront 2 and Star Wars Battlefront 1 news. And yes, you heard me right, there's actually an update for Star Wars Battlefront 1 because EA announced that there will be a double XP event between July 13th to 16th, which I gotta say is a bit surprising considering they haven't updated anything for 8 months, and I thought this post on Reddit was quite accurate to the situation right now with this game, because it kind of does feel like they've abandoned it completely to work on Battlefront 2. I mean, I wouldn't mind an extra update or two, maybe fix some stuff, add Hero Blast and so on, but nevertheless, if you for some reason aren't maxed out now and you need some extra credits, I would highly suggest you to get on Battlefront this weekend. But moving on, EA posted a new campaign page for Battlefront 2 on the website, and it doesn't really contain any new details in the text. However, it does contain 2 new really epic shots of the Inferno Squad. First off, we have this image that shows 3 members of the Inferno Squad. I think there will be more in the actual game if I understand correctly. I'm not sure if they've announced the number yet. However, you can of course see Janina, also known as Aiden Versio, and then we have the 2 Inferno Squad members played by Paul Blackthorne and TJ Ramini, as confirmed by Janina herself on Twitter. And one of the writers for Battlefront 2 also confirmed that we will get to know more about the other members of the Inferno Squad very soon, and I'm assuming that might be referring to the book that comes out just about 2 weeks from now. Other than that, this image confirms 2 new weapons, or well, to the left we have the A280, or at least it looks like it's some version of that. It could be the A280C, A280, A280 CFE, and so on. It's a little bit hard to see from that angle, but we did see an A280C in the original Battlefront 2 trailer, so that isn't really a big surprise. However, to the right we have someone using the DLT-19X. It does look a little bit modified compared to the previous game, at least the scope, but it's gonna be very interesting to see how this weapon works. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be quite different compared to the first game and be more along the lines of how the snipers we saw at EA Play are, which means they won't overheat after one shot. So maybe this also points towards the fact that one of the members of the Inferno Squad will be a sniper that kind of stays in the back. It could be hinting towards different roles, which I think is pretty cool to see. However, it's gonna be nice to see that weapon make a return, as sniping is obviously vastly improved in this game. And next up we have this image that doesn't reveal anything new gameplay wise. It does however look really badass. And I'm glad to see that they keep pumping out new screenshots all the time. They've done a lot better job with this game compared to the previous one, as they were very quiet about it for the last game, and this time around I feel like we get new images almost on a weekly basis. And lastly, I wanted to read a response from design director Dennis Branval, because you might have seen my videos from a few days ago when I talked about the prequel trilogy versus original versus sequel, because Dennis said that original would have more, and he elaborated a bit more on Reddit with a quite lengthy comment that I think anyone interested in this game should read. So he responded saying, "No, we're not holding anything back anywhere," which was a reference to someone who thought they held it back for DLC. This is the biggest game most of us have ever worked on. It's tricky to balance because the galaxy is too big to fit into one game to the quality that we want to hit. We're actually running out of disk space for the box copies. Prioritizing what we work on for launch and what things we look at for later is very tricky. Should we base it off the amount of movies made, the oldest, the hottest era right now, the best movie based on reviews, or should we just ask Reddit and hope they represent the remaining 99.9% of the people who'd want to pick up the game? The strategy that made the most sense was to base the sequel on the first game, meaning anchored in the original trilogy and the DLCs that not everyone got to play, but move in equal pace both backwards and forwards in timeline from there. Post-launch, we'll let the community as a whole decide where we go. Obviously, we're likely to run out of things to add from the new movies quicker than the prequels, but every time a new Star Wars movie comes out, a lot of people seem to want to play characters and locations from it. So a healthy balance might be the way to go there too. And I think this clears up a lot of concerns people had, and it kind of also explains why they're doing what they're doing, because this game really is unique, and honestly there's no way to please everyone, like I've said 1,000 times before. And the fact that they're actually running out of disk space for the box copies kind of speaks for itself, because they just technically can't add more content in that case. And I'm honestly not sure what the disk space limit is on box copies, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's upwards to like, I don't know, 100 gigabyte or something like that. But like I kind of speculated in my previous video, he agrees here that that they will probably run out of stuff to show off from the new movies fairly quickly, and then they can move over to prequel stuff because that's where they have the most to pick from basically. And considering we have 3 movies and like I think it's 7 seasons of an animated series, there is a lot of stuff to pick from the prequel trilogy. But yeah, that is all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.